So I've never been to a town hall meeting before where the speakers weren't heckled by the crowd. So I also want to thank Lauren for muting everybody in advance of this talk. I was originally supposed to co-host this discussion on committees with Ken Nelson from Blue Delta Energy. Ken and Blue Delta have been putting an enormous amount of effort and time into the EMA in these committees over the past few years. And unfortunately, he's on a plane right now. He may be able to join late, but if he does, I know he'd really appreciate a good heckling if that mute button happens to be unselected. Hello everyone again. Thanks for joining us today. For those that haven't met me before, my name is Christian Hofer, and I've been an EMA board member since 2019. In my day job, I'm a senior director of trading at Sol Systems, where I serve as the head of research. I've been involved in the environmental markets for over a decade, and I have a passion for the intersection of commodity markets and sustainable infrastructure development. The EMA has always inspired me in three ways. The first is just the caliber of market professionals that interact with the EMA. The level of experience and market know-how at this organization is impressive, and it offers unique and valuable perspectives that are really difficult to find in other places. Second is the association's focus on supporting environmental markets policy. I believe that environmental markets are key to achieving sustainable development goals at the scale and speed that's being asked of us. And these policies have the ability to cost effectively deploy trillions of dollars of investment against, as Jack was saying, against transparent, measurable, and legally enforceable targets that are designed to deliver results. And that's just the key word. These markets are designed to deliver results. And third is just the untapped potential of the EMA and its members to have an impact on market design conversations related to the preservation of formation of capital pools that are going into sustainable investment. So on this topic, we're now going to introduce and talk about EMA's new committee design structure and the role that they will play in advancing EMA's mission to promote open, competitive, and tradable environmental market designs. Lauren, if you wouldn't mind just going forward. Yeah, thank you very much. So there are three interconnected committees that the board will oversee. The Market Principles Committee, the Policy Advocacy Committee, and the Events Committee. Now, the common element which binds all of these committees together under the EMA umbrella is our recommended principles for market-based solutions, which were republished in 2017. These principles are integral to guiding the activity of the association, but they're also essential for forming a system of checks and balances that is part of this committee design structure to ensure the goal that EMA is always promoting policies that are consistent with our market principles and the interests of our members. And this is very important to honoring the integrity of the EMA and its 25 years of history, and also its vision for markets as a vehicle to cost effectively achieve sustainability goals. So what does each committee do, and which one is right for someone who wants to get more involved in this space? And why is there even the need for the different committees? First, the Market Principles Committee is the educational arm of the EMA. Its purpose is to create and publish subsector market principles, white papers and case studies and written presentation materials that EMA members can use to promote market-based solutions. Said another way, it's also a research arm that's interested in studying markets and helping to discern what creates a successful market design from an unsuccessful market design. And so the spirit is to do this work deliberately with data and evidence and experience-driven learning in order to maintain the integrity and real-world viability of our association policy positions. As many of you know, the challenge with market design is that all of the elements must work together as part of the package. If one or two provisions don't work, the market structure can fail in what otherwise is a well-designed market. And so this obviously creates risk because poorly designed markets garner poor reputations and even worse, deliver poor performance. I'm sure countless people on this call have participated in or seen poorly designed markets before. And so since 2017, the EMA has been engaging in rec market design conversations in the policy realm. And to support these efforts, the Market Principles Committee published a set of best practice principles for rec markets. This is a guide, it's an off-the-shelf manual which explains the features of tradable rec markets and how they work, is a tool that decision makers can rely upon. I also think this committee, there's a shout out that's deserved here. This committee was originally founded by George Tung at NextEra Energy, who's made major contributions to the EMA over the years. And so he deserves a lot of credit for the EMA getting to this point. And if you happen to see him around, please make sure to thank him for his contributions. Moving on to the Policy Advocacy Committee, think of this committee as the front office of the EMA. Its purpose is awareness and outreach. Its purpose is to create a platform whereby EMA members can have a louder and more comprehensive voice, cohesive voice on market design issues. And this committee will do that by one, allowing members to petition the EMA to submit written and oral testimony on important policy issues affecting membership interests, assuming the petitions comply with our market principles, of course. So for example, the EMA did this in Ohio recently when House Bill 6 was attempting to repeal the state's RPS policy. So in this situation, Sol Systems petitioned the EMA to intervene, and we went ahead and we drafted public comments, which we submitted to the EMA for approval alongside our market principles. And then we even went one step further and we flew out to Columbus, Ohio to testify in front of a Senate committee dealing with this issue on behalf of EMA member interests. The second thing that this committee offers members is the ability to build bridges with other like-minded associations and to facilitate meetings and presentations with other stakeholders and policymakers to get the word out there. And then the last thing, the third item for policy advocacy is to create a place for member companies to meet each other and to have a place to discuss important policy issues impacting all members and to have materials to get out and play defense or offense, depending on what the situation requires. Last but certainly not least, we have the events committee, which wants to ensure diversity of membership and the delivery of high value content alongside networking opportunities. This committee is about creating inclusivity and getting a wide range of market participants to join EMA, whether they be developers, asset managers, market makers, and compliance entities, or universities, consultants, lawyers, exchanges, and brokers. So, why do we need these committees and why this structure? Well, frankly, today there's often a vacuum of thought leadership and market design know-how in the policy realm. And there are also a lack of organizations out there that are definitively defending and advocating for competitive markets. This committee structure is designed to ensure EMA maintains a brand of high integrity professionals that promote solutions that work. and good solutions need to be informed by market experience and world market data and appropriate interpretation of economic theory. There's also a need to balance and eliminate conflicts of interest among members that may have different interests. The EMA must avoid weighing in at a level that hits one membership interest versus another group, but we must weigh in on issues that collectively harm or violate member interests because of their inconsistency with our principles. And now this is much easier said than done, but that is why we are publishing the principles so that anyone that joins EMA understands the market rules that we're trying to establish. And hopefully these principles will help us arbitrate more difficult opinions and viewpoints among members when the time comes. And if we get to the point where we have members so engaged that they're debating issues on market design, I would call that a huge success. So to close on the committee structure, what we've learned from doing over the past few years is that we need more members to help in areas that interest them or in markets that interest them. And these committees are only as effective as the amount of energy and work that member companies put into them. So it's simply not sustainable anymore for one company or a group of companies or individuals to address all the market's needs. And so the board has put a lot of thought into these committee structures to ensure that there is a way for members to get more involved, to get out there and amplify what we think is a very important voice that's not being represented right now in many policy conversations across the country. So with that said, I think we have a great group of professionals at the EMA, and that EMA can be that platform that harnesses the energy of market participants that care about going above and beyond to fight for open, competitive, and tradable environmental markets. And with that, it looks like we've now been joined by Ken Nelson of Blue Delta Energy. So I'll pass it off to him for closing remarks.
Thank you, Christian. And I really do want to give a lot of credit to Christian and all the hours that he has dedicated to making this the EMA what it is today. I mean, it has been a rough year, but I think through efforts from Jack and the rest of the board, and especially Christian, I think we've been able to stay relevant and really build a solid foundation going forward. I'm excited to be a part of the Policy Advocacy Committee, and I support the mission of markets and really trying to not just to internally discuss markets with in the legislative or regulatory arena, but also in the other groups, like Jack might have mentioned, with students and with trying to get our message about the success of markets and why we strongly support market-based solutions for environmental issues. Because it's true that no other organization is going to do this on our behalf. A lot of developers, we all know, would be very happy with feed-in tariffs, and we'd be out of a job, amongst other things. But more importantly, we'd be missing out on this opportunity to contribute. Because I think that at its core, and I know Christian is strongly a believer of this, and I am as well, and I'm sure that hopefully most of the rest of you are, markets work. And if given the right market structures, markets work. And that's what we want to try to convey to the public, to the regulators, to the legislators, that we need to effectively introduce, manage, nurture markets, and we can achieve great things. So anyways, I appreciate your letting me, I'm not heckling you. I promise I'm not going to heckle you, Christian. Especially I'm the one who just landed in DC, so I have nothing to be, in fact, if you want to, you can heckle me. But I do appreciate everyone taking the time on a Friday afternoon, and really looking forward to moving forward on EMA 2.0.
Awesome, Ken. And you get the MVP award for getting to a place that was quiet enough to remotely speak on a Zoom. I'm impressed. This is the current board liaison list of committee contacts. So if you are interested in joining a committee, number one, you have to be a member of EMA. So I know some of you are members, and that is amazing. We love that. We have some new members that are on, but if you are not a member yet, you can join very easily, and I'm going to walk you through the website and just how easy that is. So if you are interested in learning more, you can speak to Ken about policy advocacy, you can speak to Christian about market principles, and if you're interested in events, you can talk to Jack. If there's something else, you can talk to me. You can talk to me about your dog. It'll be great.